Hey boys and girls, I am going to read you a story today. As some of your teachers may have told you, Friday we're going to do a writing prompt day. What that means is all the boys and girls in all of our campus are going to be writing about the same thing. Can anybody guess what we're going to be writing about? We're going to be writing about winter. Well, as most of you know, it does get pretty cold in Texas sometimes, like this week has been awfully cold. But we don't always see those fabulous little white things called snow. So I thought maybe I would read you a story about snow so that when you write about it, you have a little bit of information about snow. So I'm going to read you the story called The Story of Snow. Now, we're used to reading stories that are fiction stories. This one's actually real facts about snow. That makes it a non-fiction text. This is the story of snow. Snow begins with a speck. Clouds are mostly made of air and water, but there are also bits of other things like little particles of dirt, ash, and salt. Even living bacteria can float in the wind and end up in a cloud. A snow crystal needs one of these specks to start growing. These specks are much smaller than the eye can see, but if you could see them, they would look like ash or soot from a volcano, a grain of pollen from a flower, salt left over from the ocean water that evaporates, a particle of soil or dirt, bacteria from plant leaves. The speck becomes the center of a snow crystal. When a speck gets cold enough, water vapor will stick to it. If you had a microscope that could see such small things, here's what you would see. Water vapor sticking to the speck, more water vapor, droplet of ice, more water vapor, until you get a snow crystal. A snow crystal forms as it falls. As the snow crystal gets bigger and heavier, it starts to fall to earth. It keeps growing as it falls through its cloud, taking on its own special shape. The shape depends on how wet the cloud is and how cold it is. A snow crystal can start to grow one way, but then grow another way when it passes through a wetter or colder part of the cloud. The crystal stops growing soon after falling below the clouds. Snow crystals can be stars. One common snow crystal shape is a star. Star-shaped snow crystals usually have 6 arms reaching out from a center point. The center point is the home of the speck that started the crystal. The 6 arms look alike, but they are almost never exactly alike. You may have heard before that not one snowflake is like another. All snowflakes are unique. Snow crystals can be plates. Plate crystals are thin like star crystals, but they don't have any arms. The simplest kind of plate is a hexagon with 6 straight sides. More complicated plates have points where arms almost grew. This picture is an example of a plate that has arms that almost grew. Snow crystals can also be columns. Column-shaped snow crystals are shaped like pencils. They're not flat like stars and plates. Columns can form high in the clouds and at very cold temperatures. They are very tiny, and when they fall, they make for very slippery snow. This is an up-close picture of what that column might look like, but if you look right over here, the actual size is that teeny tiny little dot, no longer than ½ a millimeter. 6 is the magic number for snow crystals. This is because of the nature of water. Water molecules, the smallest units of water, attach themselves in groups of 6, which usually leads to crystals with 6 arms or 6 sides. Snow crystals are rarely perfect. So much can happen during a snow crystal's fall to earth. It is rare that one will turn out perfectly. If a droplet of water passes close to one arm of a snow crystal, that arm can start to grow faster. Before long, that one arm will be a lot longer than the others. See these examples of snow crystals that are not perfect? They're similar. Their arms are similar, but some are just a little longer. And that's because the water droplets got on that arm a little faster. A snow crystal can be a twin. A snow crystal can have 12 arms. This is a twin crystal, which happens when two crystals start from the original speck and form on top of each other. A snow crystal can have bumps. If there are enough water droplets near the crystal, some can strike through the crystal and freeze on contact. This gives the crystal little bumps called rime. And if you see that picture, you can see the little bumps on that snow crystal, and those are called rime. Many snow crystals make one snowflake. Often, snow crystals bump into each other and get stuck together. When this happens, snowflakes form. Hundreds or even thousands of snow crystals can be found in a single snowflake. Once a snow crystal lands, it starts to wither away. You guys know that as melting. Snow crystals can't keep growing after they fall from the clouds. And when a crystal stops growing, it immediately starts to wither. Soon the arms of the crystal break down and the crystal shape becomes rounded. This means that if you want to see a snow crystal, you need to catch it in the air or find it very soon after it lands. There are no two snow crystals alike. Are there no two snow crystals alike? Some simple plate crystals may appear exactly alike as seen through a high-quality microscope. When it comes to more complicated snow crystals, though, odds are that no two are exactly alike. But then, no two leaves, flowers, or people are exactly alike either. Snow crystals are like us. We are each different. We have a lot in common. And the back of this book has really cool directions for how to catch your own snow crystals. But of course, before you could catch a snow crystal, it would have to snow, which doesn't happen very often in Texas. But I have another book. I'm not going to read the book to you, but what I'm going to show you are some pictures of when it really snowed in Texas. Some of you who were alive in 2010 may remember when it snowed in Texas. Maybe if you were at school during that time, you got to go outside and see the snow. This book is written about it's titled More Snow for Kids, but it is a true story of when it snowed in Texas. And I'm just going to show you some of the pictures. And what I like about these pictures are these are actual pictures of when it snowed. This was in South Padre Island, which sounds tropical, but it's actually in Texas. And then there's another picture. This picture is from Corpus Christi, another city in Texas. You can see the snow covering the ground. Here's some kids from Corpus Christi, Mission, Texas, and another picture from Corpus Christi, and you can see the snow in the air. Look at that. That's from Victoria, actually kind of close to us. Some of you have probably been to Victoria, where they're actually out on the beach, but it's snow, not sand. Look at those silly people. Those silly people who are laying out in the snow. That's because it rarely snows in Texas. We're used to our bathing suits more than we're used to snow. Some more pictures of Victoria. They even spelt out Victoria in the snow. And look at that snowman. That's pretty cool. I don't know if there was enough here to make a big giant snowman, but maybe you were able to make some snow angels. I like this last picture. Let me get to this last picture. There's some more pictures of the kids enjoying the snow, eating the snow. Don't eat the snow. Look at the animals enjoying the snow. We do have to make sure our animals get bundled up tight. We don't want them getting too cold in the snow. Now these are wild animals. We can't bundle them up tight very well, but if they live on farms with farmers, they usually have a barn for them to go in. And some birds, and then look at that picture. We're going to end on that picture because that, if it does snow in Texas, is usually what we see. Those snow crystals melting right into the sand in our hot, hot Texas weather. A lot of times in Texas, it is 90 degrees in December. Now, we haven't experienced that this week, but hopefully when you write on Friday, you'll have a little bit of information where you can write about winter.